A few years ago, when I bought my 2015 Ford F-150, no one made a replacement dash kit, so I couldn't upgrade the 4-inch Sync 2 system. Now, no less than 3 manufacturers make aftermarket dash kits, which led me to see about installing a Pioneer AVIC-W8500NEX AV receiver. While you can certainly go with any model of double-din car audio receiver, Pioneer has some features that I like. First off, their flagship model has a 7-inch WVGA capacitive touchscreen. This display is very similar to the one you find on your iPhone. Less expensive models, even from Pioneer, include a clear resistive screen that doesn't have the same level of responsiveness. The Pioneer AVIC-W8500 also includes both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto in wireless mode. Siri Eyes Free lets anyone with a compatible iPhone activate Siri via the touchscreen or just by using the steering wheel controls. It goes without saying that you get full Bluetooth audio, including the latest hands-free profile or HPF 1.6 support. Since this model supports built-in navigation, you can get detailed turn-by-turn nav with real-time traffic without CarPlay or Android Auto modes active. Other features I like include the fact that, well, it integrates your existing backup camera, or you can add a front and back camera of your own. The system includes native Pandora support, as well as HD radio, which lets you enjoy digital quality audio without a subscription. Of course, if you want to pay for your music and talk radio, the Pioneer AVIC also supports Sirius XM. For our installation, we took a visit to 5-Star Car Stereo in Clearwater. Dean and Fernando took great care of us and even shot some video in the process. Check out their YouTube channel. After rolling the truck into place, it didn't take long to get the key components unpackaged and ready for prep. And there is a lot of prep. The install included the following Pioneer car audio components: the AVIC 8500NEX AV receiver, the GM DX871 Class D mono amplifier, the TS-A692C 6x9 two-way speakers with dedicated tweeters, those are for the fronts, the TS-A652F 6.5-inch three-way coax speakers, those are for the rear doors, the TS-D10LB 10-inch shallow mount preloaded sub, and the ND-BC8 universal rear view camera. What doesn't get mentioned here are the tape, plastic, foam, and other custom parts an installer like 5-Star has to use in order to ensure a proper fit and seal for all of the components and cabling. Now, you'd think the installation would consist of unboxing the receiver and speakers and just slapping everything in place. You'd be wrong. We watched as our installers took great pains to properly dress the wiring and hone the plastic frames for each speaker so they fit properly. For the main stereo, 5-Star removed the climate, hazard, and traction controls from the original dash shroud. They then added those into the replacement dash kit and tested it to make sure everything worked properly. This all occurred prior to putting in the Pioneer AV receiver. The door panels came off next, and they removed the OEM speakers, including the tweeters, from the Ford F-150's A-pillars. The replacement tweeters received custom backplates, which were finessed into shape using a Wagner heat gun. Before replacing the front door speakers, each had to be carefully matched to their plastic frames, with some trimming required for a perfect fit. Well, after perfecting the fit, they reinstalled the 6x9 front speakers and the 6.5-inch three-way rear speakers and replaced the door panels. For the front pillar speakers, the wiring was modified to include a new passive crossover. Connectors were added to mate the new Pioneer tweeters before placing them back into position and replacing the A-pillars. For the solder connections, we spied them using a Milwaukee M12 soldering iron. After swapping out the speakers, two things remained. The first involved finally installing the new Pioneer 8500 head unit. First came a dry fit of the unit before completing the integration with the dash kit. This ensured all the speakers worked properly. Once tested, they connected the rear USB and the HDMI cables and then installed the Pioneer receiver into the dash. The plastic dash kit then went over top, covering everything and finishing out the install. All that remained was to run the backup camera wiring and connect it to the system underneath the dash. The Pioneer ND-BC8 backup camera wasn't quite ready for mounting out of the box, or at least my truck wasn't. Since the Ford lacked a place to conveniently mount the camera, 5-Star Car Stereo made a custom bracket for the license plate. Using a Bosch table saw, they ripped a length of plastic and used a Rockwell Blade Runner scroll saw to match the curve of my license plate cover. Finally, a Triton router rounded over the edges for a nice finished look. This custom plastic bracket looked great, and it gave a secure place to mount the camera. Next, they carefully ran the camera wiring alongside the chassis underneath the truck and into the cable trough. Continuing up to the front of the vehicle, it then connected into the AV harness for the Pioneer head unit. Now, before this, the audio system sounded remarkably decent for an almost OEM rig. I'd added a kicker subwoofer, which gave me a lot more bass. Now we upgraded all the speakers to Pioneer. Combined with the flagship AVIC-W8500NEX AV receiver, I not only dramatically increased the sound quality of the system, I added some really cool features as well. Before, I was able to use Forward Sync 2 and Bluetooth to make and receive calls, but now Apple CarPlay lets me do everything hands-free and use apps like Google Maps, Amazon Music, and Spotify without even having to take my phone out of my pocket. Everything just connects automatically. As far as aftermarket truck upgrades go, replacing that old 4-inch system with a full-fledged AV powerhouse touchscreen made for the most satisfying result I could have hoped for. You can also go crazy and spend thousands of dollars on higher quality speakers, DSP processing and calibration, bigger subs, but for now, I think this has everything I need. Be sure to subscribe, like, and/or follow us for more great tool reviews and news, and check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Thanks for watching.